Hey, welcome to the Happy Rant podcast. I am Ted Cluck, joined as always in studio by my good friends, my partner in radio, Ronald J. Martin. Baby, we are without Piper today. Piper got married, so
It's unbelievable that he would not. It's unbelievable he would go on a honeymoon and skip the
I
recording.
know, dude. I do have concerns about his commitment, but we can we can talk about that off the air. But baby, we get the privilege of doing radio with one another again, which is
Exactly.
one of our favorite things to do. We hit record as soon as the Skype started, so
Barely said hello.
barely even said hello. We're barely on speaking terms these days. Um,
Exactly.
Baby, there was a little bit of exhaustion and, dare I say, even despair in your voice. And I recognize that because I'm kind of at the same place, minus the exhaustion. But
You're on the rim of despair.
oh yeah, I've been on the rim of despair for a while. But
The edge of despair.
talk about your
Yes.
despair, baby.
Oh, baby, I don't know. It's man. It's been one of those. It's been one of those years. I was gonna say week.
Yeah,
Then I bumped up to month.
yeah.
Then I bumped up to like season, and then I said, just run with year.
Well, that's safe, baby.
So
Yeah, that's safe.
yeah.
I think it's definitely been one of those years, safe to say. But baby, how was the visit with that Jared C?
Um, did we not chat about that? I guess we didn't. I know you guys did a whole ep
We did a whole ep
on
on it. And
the
yeah, thanks
photo
for
op,
that, dude. Thanks for the
but
content.
yeah, no, absolutely. You're welcome.
But
That's why we did it.
yeah,
I'm always thinking about the rant. Always
always
thinking
thinking
about
about
how
the
we
show.
can promote. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's all promotion for me.
yeah.
It was great, man. Me, Jared C, Becky C, Melissa C, Ronnie C. I mean, we all have C as our middle initial now, and we were just man, we just hung out for about 4 or 5 days.
Dude, 4 or
Jared
5 days,
C.
that's long.
Yeah, it was a journey.
You're an
Yeah, it
extrovert, though.
was a
You don't
journey.
get sick of people like I do.
You know what's so funny, man? So this is what was interesting, right? If you want to just if you allow me to just like kind of lay out the
Yeah,
sitch,
let's go there.
it was so you got me and you got Becky,
Uh-huh.
Jared C's wife, and she is like the extroverted like she's the extrovert's extrovert,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
I mean, she like in some ways like there are moments when she makes me like feel like an introvert. She's so extroverted,
Wow.
But like we're both pretty extroverted,
Yeah.
right? And then you got Jared C and you got Big M and you got like case study introverts right there,
Yeah.
right? And so, dude, it was a super interesting, contrast going on there because basically at some point in every convo, whether we're out on the porch or we're taking a walk, you got me and Beck just literally talking and talking and talking, and you got the other two just kind of looking down, trying to collect their thoughts, wishing they could be in a corner reading somewhere, and it was just really funny.
Dude, now, does that make Jared C feel weird? You like chewing the ear off of his wife and vice versa?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're all there.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like we're off in a corner, but it was. It was just. It was just like it was so like the personality types. It couldn't have been more like if you were to try to do a study on it and throw us into a room together, it was like, oh, this is gold, because there's the two introverts kind of basically looking down, going, I wish these two people would stop talking,
Yeah.
and obviously
More
there's
about
no
themselves.
chance.
Wow. How can it be?
Right, and
6
then well,
days.
then right, exactly, and then as extroverts, we just make every scenario about
Of
ourselves.
course.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it's like at some point I look at Beck and I'm like, hey, we got two people behind us that haven't said a word in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe we should speak to them.
Yeah, that's tough, baby.
So it was.
You got to make those accommodations, baby. I have breaking at Jared C. Wilson news.
Oh, what's going on, man?
Guess who's blurbing the boys' new
Stop.
novel?
Are you trying to tell me that multi-million-dollar deal finally came?
It finally came. We were
You
able.
got the lawyers in the room.
Yeah, we got everybody in a room. It was tense for a while, but
You got the agents, the managers, the lawyers. How
yeah,
did that? I mean, just describe to us how that worked itself out.
baby. I haven't blurbed anything in a while, and Jared reached out via email, and I couldn't tell if he was screwing with me or not. So I just kind of didn't do anything with it for a couple days, and then I legitimately
Is that a little payback for you, baby, because of the whole
see,
email
baby. I'm not
thing
petty
that-
like that. I'm a
All right.
quick email responder under all
Okay.
circumstances, but I legitimately forgot about it because who cares about blurbs? I mean, truly, it's like the blurb. What even is the analogy? It is to the book business like
I don't know, man.
I don't even know, dude.
It just is what it is. There's no comparison.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. Whatever. But I let it sit there for a few days, and Jared reached back out and he's like, "Hey, are you stonewalling me because of what happened like before?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Bro, whoa, dude, way to speak the truth in love." You know,
Wow, things are getting serious.
things are getting really serious, dude. And he just confronted. He Matthew 18 that thing.
Oh, he Matthew 18 that thing to heck.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's when we got the lawyers in the room. I agreed.
Oh, okay. Smoothed it over.
You know, I let him know that I would read 4 to 6 pages of the novel and then provide my blurb. So that's what's going to happen.
So hold on. So that means you read the other 6 blurbs he's already gotten as the reading portion of your blurb.
Oh no, dude! I don't need I don't need blurb templates. I can do my own blurb, but yeah, I'm not reading more than 4 to 6 pages of it, and it's about teens. It's like a teen thing, and it's already
YA, man.
I read like the first 3 pages. It's already got like the most quintessential teen thing in it, which is a car wreck. So somebody's already wrecked their car, which means we got a teen story on our hands. So
yeah, we got something going on.
yeah, I will be like, taking a little retreat, a little sabbat, and writing that blurb here within the next couple.
Yeah, for sure. Because what are you looking at, man? 4, 5, 6 days of just like
6 days
labor.
Yeah, 6 days of labor.
Yeah.
Which means I need like a week and a half away from the family. So
yeah. So what are you gonna do? You gonna rent a cabin?
Oh,
I mean, like, how are you gonna get away to do this to complete this?
I'm gonna go to the Ronnie and Melissa Martin Retreat Center.
Oh, absolutely.
When does that happen?
You know that's open for you.
Where?
You know that's always open for you. It's always open for you.
Nice, baby.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a thing for sure.
Oh man, I can't even. I mean, the work ahead of you right now, Big T.
I know, dude.
It feels overwhelming in my head.
I know. I'm so stressed, baby. On top of everything else that's going on in the world.
Everything else that's going on. I mean, you got COVID, you got racial tensions, and
now I got to write.
Probably going to break on. It's going to break on Twitter at some point that you got to write this blurb.
Oh,
it's going to be.
I know it.
I mean, you're going to have Russell Moore, and you're going to have Al Mohler, talking about this on the briefing in 4 days when he relaunches.
Well, dude, where are you gonna fall down on that issue? That's what I want to know. Are you with me, or are you in, or are you out?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I got to pray about that, Big T.
Do.
I mean, I can't just,
You gotta pray. You gotta see how the wind's blowing.
Pray.
See what Eric Metaxas says. Just disagree.
Yeah, whatever Metaxas says, just double down times 6. That's what I'm.
Dude, how about Metaxas week, baby?
Oh, good grief, man.
Dude, now that guy, I don't know Metaxas at all. I've never met him. I know that for a while he was like a golden boy in like our circles, and now everybody's just
dude writes a Bonhoeffer. Bio.
Dude drops a little Bonhoeffer book, and everybody's all over his jock for a while. But now, he's persona non grata, man.
It's bad. It's bad now.
It is bad. What happened? I don't even know. I don't know. It's just because he supports Trump, right? He says it out loud, kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's beyond that, right? I think it goes way beyond that. He has just said some really outrageous things, way beyond.
Dude, all right. So we got
way beyond Donald Trump.
I got to ask you about this last thing that he said, because of course I'm not on social media. If you're playing the Ted Cluck not on social media drinking game, then drink. Go ahead and take a drink now.
Take a nice long gulp.
So Metaxas said that Jesus was white, right? Now,
yes.
Metaxas a smart guy. I've got to assume that he's a smart guy to have done all that he's done. So, is it just me, or did he just wake up in the morning and go, you know what? I'm going to burn woke Twitter and fake woke Twitter to the ground with this. I'm just going to screw with these people, right?
It's like TGC hasn't talked about me in a long time.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, I need them to talk about me all day and, in fact, all week.
So Metaxas drops his little tweet about Jesus being white, and fake woke Twitter's like, oh, no, he was Middle Eastern, and all the stuff we were talking about, 25 years ago in college, feeling super clever about ourselves. Everybody's dropping that. Now, why would a guy like Metaxas do that, baby?
Well, I mean, there's different thoughts, right? So you on one hand, you just go, okay, was this just a purely, clickbaity, comment to get TGC and just, everybody from our tribe just freaking out and flipping out on him.
Yeah.
Was it that? Is he really just the smartest marketing and promotional dude that's ever lived? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it that? Or does he legitimately Like, was that was that like a legitimate thing that he really believes and thinks, right? So those are the two like kind of like, prevailing, I guess opinions about it.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Did you pile on Metaxi?
I tweeted something kind of just dumb and funny. You want me to tell you what I said?
Yeah.
I said, you really don't, but I'll tell you anyway.
Sure, I'm not on Twitter.
So I just, yeah. Right. You can drink this in. I just said something dumb. What did I say? I'm trying to find it right now, man. I said, shoot, man. I said, I remember Jesus being white when I was a kid in the 70s too.
Yeah.
That's all I said, because we had all, just like everybody else, I grew up in, the home that went from, my parents converted Catholics to Christianity. So it was all surfer Jesus.
Dude, you had a ton of dope, like white Jesus paintings in your house.
Totally, man. And they were all Southern California. They all looked like they were like painted in Southern California by the beach.
Yeah.
By some hippie painter.
They all look like early career, like Sean Penn, like circa Fast Times at
Ridgemont. 100. Yeah, exact. Like, Fast Times at Ridgemont High Jesus, basically, And it was like, so
I love it.
I don't know. So that I don't get into all that. It's so ridiculous to me that it's like you can only either be funny about it or shut up about it. But but there was a lot of like obvious like outrage. Like, is he being serious? Can this be serious? Dude. Does he really think this? And then kind of all of the defenses and all of the outrage and, this is ridiculous. But again, it leads me to believe that like, oh, you guys, you're just playing into his hand. Like, this is exactly what he wanted. Everybody's talking about him, because right before he drops his, Bonhoeffer Part 3 bio next year.
Bonhoeffer.
Right. Right. Or whatever he's going to drop, White Jesus or something, I don't know. Yeah. A bio on Jesus, and it's going to have a picture of like a surfer of Sean Penn from Fast Times on Ridgemont.
Dude, somebody should do a coffee table book of just all those sick Jesus pictures from the 70s and 80s.
Just literally like compile as many as you
can. Because I wonder who owns the rights to those. You know what I mean?
Well, it's probably all over the map.
That would be a sweet coffee table book. We should look into that.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? It would be insane. I mean, you would come up with some insane ones that you didn't even know were out there.
Yeah, dude. That would be super fun. Baby, speaking of books that are going to be super fun, can I break this news? About our new little project?
Well, I don't know if I would do that quite yet.
I'm not breaking it.
I mean, give it a minute.
Yeah.
I would say give it a minute.
Can you give me an update in coy, like veiled terminology of how things are going with that?
Yeah. Our friend is happy and is gonna, report back soon.
Okay. So the news is good.
So far in the sense that our friend is very happy with us and our decision.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, baby, we've dreamed about this for so long, collabing together again on a book, and it looks like it might happen.
It could.
It could.
It could. It's not. I mean, we're not going to reach the heights of Bridezilla of Christ.
Well, no, baby. Don't be silly.
One direction.
Yeah, don't be silly. Now, baby,
there's only one direction we can go from that.
Do you think if we get another book deal together, that Jared C. would blurb it? So maybe my blurb to him is an investment in a future blurb from him.
I think there's a really, really good opportunity. And I think as many people as we've made mad, we're going to need all the people we can get to blurb that thing.
Maybe who we make mad? That's the.
I'm kidding. Probably nobody.
You're kidding. I think nobody.
Well, I mean, I think you have. I mean, you really have to take yourself seriously to get mad at anything that we say on this program, which is hardly anything serious.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So I always tell people that say, hey, I enjoy the program. And sometimes they seem a little tentative. And I say, hey, remember, man, we don't take ourselves seriously. So we're not taking any of the content seriously. And so you just be able like freely enjoy it because of that. Yeah. There's no agenda with the pod.
Right.
There just isn't. And I think if you can enjoy it, and even some of the more outrageous things that are said, which by the way, I never think are that outrageous.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we're pitching softballs here.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's get back to even talking about Metaxi.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not tearing down his character and going nuts. I mean, we're just saying that was a crazy thing to tweet, and we don't even know why he did it. But here's some options, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think he was screwing with people, which
Is that your opinion? Is that where you come out with it? Like he's just a brilliant, really kind of marketing promotional dude.
dude, yeah, or he just wanted to see how much he could make like Twitter burn to the ground for 24 hours. I don't know. I've got to think he I mean anybody who's been around for any amount of time knows that Jesus wasn't white, So like
it's like not new news.
I've got to think he was just messing around,
I mean, like our moms might be shocked about that. Big T,
dude, they might, man, they might. But I think my mom, shout out Karen, man, Karen Cluck. I think Karen is, yeah,
she is a Karen.
Yeah, she is, dude. But she's the opposite of a Karen, if you know what I mean.
She's the anti-Karen Karen.
Yeah, she's the sweetest lady, man, for sure. But baby, we are about one thing and one thing only on this program, which is lining our own pockets and commerce and money and business. In that vein, I want to talk about a couple sponsors. One is Redbud City Coffee Roasters. Did you serve a little Redbud to Jared and
No,
Becky?
actually I was out of my stock by the time he came out. I need to reorder and I haven't. So unfortunately I wasn't able.
Baby, so you had to do 6 days worth of meals for these people. That must have been such pressure, man, as the host, You got to put on for them a little bit.
I mean, me and Big M, that's kind of a sweet spot for us, man. We enjoy it.
Good.
So we like doing the B&B.
Dude, did you just take like a whole week off of work? Like, hey, Jared C's in town, I got to entertain kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, he came in basically like Thursday through the weekend, so I was able to get a bunch of stuff done before that, and then just entertain him. Then he did his Sunday stuff, so it was good. Yeah, it was all right.
Baby, Redbud City Coffee Roasters is our exclusive coffee provider here on the Happy Rant podcast. You can find them at redbudcoffee.com. If you use the checkout code HAPPYRANT, you will receive a discount on your coffee purchase. They have many flavors, many blends, many single origin roasts. These are all coffee terms that I'm familiar with now because I'm a mogul in the coffee business. And when they sell you a bag of coffee, they get a cut. It's a larger cut than ours. I'm not going to lie. I just want to be transparent with our audience that our coffee partner, they get a larger cut. We get a little bit too. So it's a good deal that way. Baby, I always find myself in these deals where like the other party gets more than I do. You know what I mean? It's that way with Jeff and Amazon and like the publishers. One of these days I'm going to come out on top, baby. I want to.
One of these days when you start the empire, you'll get the big cut.
Absolutely. This is an empire though. Happy Rant is our own empire, and we're building it, but we're doing it the right way, baby.
We're just still not getting the biggest cut somehow.
That's right. It's our own empire in name only.
Right.
But everybody else is getting. Baby, we got to get Piper back on the horse so we can make some new deals. I don't like this non-sponsored.
This whole like I'm getting married and going on my honeymoon.
Yeah, dude, I don't like this. I'm getting married
ridiculous.
thing.
So ridiculous.
I mean, congrats to them. Congrats to those
congrats,
beautiful
right? Like,
kids, man. Yeah.
Right. We're not like against that.
No,
like
dude.
let the hearers understand. Like we're not against him getting married. I have no problem. He can get married. He can do whatever he wants. But what he needs to be doing primarily is business for this podcast.
Yeah. Don't forget about the show.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I'm outraged over that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this, Big T. Do you think to me a honeymoon is that's not just an excuse to not do anything. I mean, he should be. I hope he's getting us some business.
Dude, what does he think it is? A sabbatical? I mean, come on.
Exactly. It's not a sabbatical.
All right, hit up Redbud City Coffee Roasters. Buy some Happy Rant coffee. Help line our pockets. Another little project. My son, Little T, is selling signed copies of The Outstanding Life of an Awkward Theater Kid on eBay. They're author signed. Wow. So look up author signed copies, Ted Cluck, or the title of the book on eBay. Buy one from my son. He ships them out lightning fast. He's doing this for a little like personal economics course he has to do. So nice. A little school project, a little lining of the pockets. Everybody wins. By the way, baby, like I think since I mentioned it the first time on the show, like sales are robust on that book now. And
are they?
Yeah, the Amazon reviews have spiked up. So
what?
Yeah, I know, baby. I know it. I'm hitting the big time. I'm going mainstream.
You really are.
And
you never thought you'd do it with graphic novels.
I never thought I'd do it with graphic novels, but I'm so glad, man. I'm so glad.
Yeah, crazy. New venture.
It is crazy. It is crazy. So check that one out. The Outstanding Life of an Awkward Theater Kid, put out by our friends at Harvest House Publishers.
Yeah.
Who we may or may not be doing a deal with in the future. I'm just saying. It'd be nice,
You never
I
know.
like those guys. You ever have like breakfast with those guys at a conference? The Harvest House
Yeah,
dudes?
I did. Yeah, I did with. I think his name's Kyle. I did one at a T4G.
Dude, those
Yeah.
guys are fun, man.
Yeah, they're really great, man. My experience with them was like stellar with
Yeah.
the children's book I did. It was stellar.
That's been
Yeah,
the best like publishing experience I've ever had has been with Harvest.
yeah, they're awesome. They're really cool.
Yeah, they're good
Yeah.
dudes. Baby, speaking of Christian celebrities like ourselves, is it JD Greer? I'm suddenly blanking. It's CTE.
JD, yeah,
JD,
yeah, yeah,
JD Greer, America's point
yeah,
guard, Christendom's high school point guard,
yeah.
has done
He
it.
really is too, isn't he?
What's that, baby?
He really is.
He really
too.
is, dude. He really is. He's done a strange thing. And I know that you like talking about the business of church and the business of Christian celebrities. So tell us what JD Greer is up to.
So JD has a church of like 24 million people. He has
Right.
one of those, and so So this is what's interesting about the whole COVID thing is like in terms of regathering,
Yeah.
it's like if you're a smaller church, it's finally paying dividends for you in
Sure.
the sense that regathering's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. You don't have that many people.
Yeah.
And so that's been kind of a good thing. It's been an easier thing. But if you're a church with 24 million people like Greer, like Summit Church,
Yeah.
you have some issues there because, dude, you can't just do services all day, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
which is what he would have to do to get everybody in, right?
Right.
And so this guy, and again, JD Greer is one of the good guys, man. And so what he did this crazy thing where he literally said, we are starting 2,400 house churches
Yeah.
instead of trying to, do some regular Sunday, gathering at the regular location.
Now, baby.
So basically he took all their small groups, I guess, somehow,
Mhm.
and sort of formed 2,400 house churches out of it is what I'm guessing, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, that is insane. Now, like, how does that differ? And you tell me, because I haven't been to seminary. I'm not in the church business like you are. How does that differ from just like we're streaming a sermon and everybody watches it at home? Is this just semantics, or is there something like more house churchy about it than
Well, dude, yeah. See, that's what I don't know. So okay. So the impression I got is it's not that they got 2,400 people gathering in houses that are just going to watch Greer on the big screen,
Yeah.
but like these are actual going to be. This is going to be like the Frankie Chan. Like, no, these are churches. They're just done in homes.
Uh-huh.
And they're limited to, whatever they can do by social distancing, 15 people or
Yeah.
20 people or something. And so they obviously have somebody there that I don't know is going to, lead some music, preach a sermon. And again, I may have that all backwards because the thing that I'm trying to figure out is how did he have 2,400 like people, like pastors that could do that at the church?
Well,
right? They could like prepare a sermon and like do that.
It sounds like a very unique church, baby.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to put it past Greer because he's he does some magic things, right? But so it might be something where I don't know. Maybe they still log in and they hear Greer.
Dude, can I ask you a question about Greer?
Yeah.
Being that I know next to nothing about the guy.
Yeah, I don't know much either. So.
Is he a phenomenal speaker? Because some of these
Dude,
guys, they get
what's-
famous and you
yeah.
hear them speak and you're like, huh, I don't see it. But others of them, they get famous and you're like, oh yeah, I could see it.
I know, and I feel like it's more okay. Let's just talk about that for a minute,
Yeah.
man, because I think that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Like I think more often than not, the guys you listen to that have A-listed themselves, you kind of go, meh.
Yeah.
You're not that they're not good,
Yeah.
but you just go, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'd want to listen to them like every week or.
Now, baby, I want to go in on your vernacular right there, though, because you said something interesting. You said the guys that have A-listed themselves. Unpack that. What did you mean?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't trying to be literal or A-listed. The guys that have become A-list, like,
Yeah.
they have names,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so some of these guys, this is what it is. Some of these guys, like I think their specialty, like whether it's church planning or they're really good when it comes to pastoral leadership. So they write books or they build these big ministries. And you just kind of go, okay, that's amazing. And, you're really gifted, obviously, with a particular kind of skill to be able to do that. But it also doesn't mean that you're necessarily the greatest public communicator of all time.
Yeah.
You know? And so in other words, like some of these guys, they built their ministry from their preaching.
Yeah.
So then when you hear them preach, you go, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And then other guys, you just go, well, that wasn't really what kind of like got you kind of the following that you have was necessarily your preaching. So then when they preach, I think you kind of go, I mean, it's fine, it's solid, it's good, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not like just like, oh man, I want to hear him again, like ASAP.
Dude, so what about our boy Greer? Did he have like, you know, four people in his church and they were meeting in a broom closet and he grew it to 24,000? Or did he take...
I don't know the story. I don't know the story of Greer. Yeah. I mean, I think he did.
Some of these guys, they just take over the keys to like a mega church and it's, you know, whatever.
He may have done that, but he also has that, I think he has that kind of that, he has that real...
Does he have some charisma, baby? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he's super charismatic. He came and he did a keynote at one of our Sojourn events a few years back.
Uh-huh.
And dude, he was good. I mean, honestly, he was really good, but he was very much like that super like kind of manic, never took a breath, run on sentence, but like a ton of like he didn't know what to do with all of his energy. It was like dripping off of him, all the energy. And so, you know, like I think in the world that he kind of operates in, I think that's really appealing because man, you're not bored, I'll tell you that much. And by the way, his content was super solid too. So the content was there. But I could also see somebody kind of go, oh man, I don't know that I could, like, that's not my cup of tea. I don't know that I could do that. You know, it was a little too excited. I like somebody who pauses, is a little bit slower that I can understand. He spoke really fast. He's just one of those, he's kind of a Matty Chan kind of a speaker, you know, at the end of the day, one of those guys. And that's just not everybody's cup of tea, but a lot of people love that.
Was he a fun guy? Good hang? Did you hang?
I didn't hang with him, but I mean, he seemed like a really normal, super fun guy. I mean, you always hear great things about him. I didn't get the chance to hang with him at that event, but really, I don't know. He seemed like a really humble dude, and just, I mean, he definitely delivered something that was really, you know, powerful and true, and
baby, I got a question.
Content-wise was good. Yeah.
When the conference circuit comes roaring back to life in 16 years, or whenever it happens, baby, who's going to be the next guy? You know what I mean? It's time for a new reform star. Who's it going to be, in your opinion?
Yeah, they've been so some of the conferences now have been main staging Trip Lee.
Oh, sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, this is new. That's new.
Yeah.
They've been main staging. T4G main staged a couple of new dudes. Greg Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert's been around a while, dude. He got on the KDY train like a decade ago. Didn't they do?
Yeah, but he's never main staged. Yeah, they did a book together about the mission of the church, but he's never main staged it, and so I don't know why it's taken him that long, to be honest. But
dude, see, I thought he had the tools back when he hopped on the KDY coattails. I was like, this guy's going to be a climber, and then it didn't really pop for him. It like he was like a high draft choice that has to spend a lot of years in the minors before he's ready for the big leagues. But
yeah, and I don't know. And baby, here's the thing. Like, I don't know why that is.
Yeah,
like I don't. You know what I mean? Because like I do know that Gilbert came out of the Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
You know thing, and so he's obviously buds with Dever, and so I don't know. You know, I think T4G this year they tried to really diversify rather than having the same like 7 speakers.
Yeah.
So they brought in guys like Gilbert and Trip Lee. And Trip Lee did a TGC plenary a couple like last year. So I don't know.
Hey, what about Trip Lee? Good speaker?
I've never heard him.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't do those sessions. Yeah. And then the other guy is HB Charles. He's kind of in the last couple years.
Dude, never
he's
heard
really
him.
Just kind of.
He sounds like an old guy with the initials, but I bet he's a young guy who's doing old guy things.
He's young-ish. He's like, you know, in our world, he's young. He's like 44, and he's African American guy. He's a pretty amazing preacher. So he's just, I mean, that's his thing.
Yeah.
So when you hear him, you just go, oh, okay. So we need to hear this.
Dude, is he selling books?
I think so. I mean, he's just, and I think at some point he was a guy with all the really solid doctrine that our tribe hadn't embraced fully yet for some reason. Huh. And I think we finally did. And it's just, I mean, he doesn't disappoint, you know, I mean, he's solid. He's an amazing speaker and he just delivers the goods.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fascinating how it all works though. And I haven't been able to figure it out at all. I have no clue how it all.
Maybe he's on the faculty at your new school, right?
Is he
at MBTS?
Is he? Okay, there you go then. Yeah.
Yeah. Baby,
So
how's
obviously
school
me and
going?
HB are gonna hang out, you know.
How's school?
Oh, baby, it's a slog for me. I got to be honest
Dude,
with
have you been to the drugstore and like purchased a few of those Mead notebooks and some pens and like you got
you.
your
I
school
mean,
supplies shopped for?
yeah. I mean, I'm almost done with the first semester,
Okay.
and it was just finished. The first half of the week was all Zoom classes. I was supposed to be in KC.
Yeah.
They canceled. I was on Zoom all week,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's it's a rough go for Big R. Let me just lay it out to you like
All
that.
right, baby. I want to hear about why it's a rough go, but I want to ask you this question first. Like, why all these pastors getting doctorates? Like, why are you getting a doctorate?
Baby, I don't know. That is the greatest question of them all,
Yeah.
as Willy Wonka would say.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of got I got a foot in the door that I wasn't expecting. I got kind of a door open that needed to be open for me to even pursue it.
Yeah.
And so it opened. I wasn't chasing it, and I just thought, should I do this because it just opened?
Yeah.
And so I finally just said, you know what, I'll do it. And man, I've been, it's been a bit of I just think I haven't gotten into the rhythm of it yet.
Yeah.
You kind of get into the rhythm of like the schoolwork mixed with everything else, and for some reason, just given everything that's going on, I haven't gotten into that rhythm yet.
Yeah.
So
No, I get it.
but
I get it.
but I don't know, to get a doctor. I don't know. It just yeah, I don't know. It's like I was really happy to get my master's, and somehow I guess that wasn't enough, and so here we are.
I mean, is it just a
So
thing that guys do now? Is it just kind of like if you're a guy of a certain theological persuasion, you're just getting a doctorate?
yeah, I mean, there's probably more of like it's probably prevalent in our tribe a little bit.
Yeah.
There's probably something to that, and plus it also, you just think, well, could this give me, kind of like you, Big T? Could it give me opportunities to do some teaching down the road? And you're probably not gonna get to do that on a seminary level with just a master's.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so it's almost kind of like, well, I'm in a good, I'm in a season. I'm in kind of a weird season where it's not that I have a ton of margin, but I don't have young kids, and
Yeah.
there's all those things. So it's like, can I find the margin to do this? I was able to do with my masters, and it's like, yeah, let me see if I can pull it off. And it's like, maybe that was the worst decision of all time. I don't know. So it's one of those things, because I'm just not like, I haven't really gotten totally, immersed yet into it. So that's what it is.
Baby, when you get that doctorate,
Oh, it's gonna be big.
yeah, it's gonna be the greatest feeling of all time.
What are you gonna do? I mean, what are you gonna feel like it's hard for you to talk to me, or
Well, yeah,
is it gonna be like a lot of intimidation in the room at that point?
dude, I spend most of my time with arrogant guys who like to be called doctor, so I'm used to it. I've learned how.
You're gonna call me Doc Martin when that
Doc
moment comes?
Martin. I might get you a pair of Doc Martens just to commemorate.
Dude, I appreciate that. I would like that gift,
Yeah.
because I like gifts. Okay.
Yeah. You're one of those unique, crazy people who likes gifts.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Yeah, it's so weird. Dude, there's going to be a little letdown, though, after you get the doctorate. A little sense of, like, what now? It's kind of like when Jared and Becky pull out of the driveway and the thing that you had, like, been dreaming about for 6 months is over. Like, was there a little bit of post-visit depression for you and Big M when the Wilsons left? A little bit of...
What's crazy is that we didn't have time, because we literally dropped them off at the port.
Yeah.
And we literally drove straight to a Sojourn mini retreat that we put on for some couples.
Oh yeah.
So we had no time to grieve.
For select
There's no
couples.
grieving time.
Yeah.
Select. When you're with the martinis, you do select things.
No time to grieve.
We're no time to grieve.
Baby, just stuff those feelings and go right to the next thing.
Exactly, man. Like every good pastor, just
absolutely
stuff it. Down.
Let it burble out later.
Yes, absolute.
Wow. Well, I feel like we've done what we always do in this program, and that
have we really wandered? I mean, have we done it? We haven't done that much.
We've caught up on our personal lives. I don't know that we've really wandered to and fro that much. We talked about your doctorate and your Wilson's visit.
Give me a little more of your personal. Tell me what's going on. I mean, you said okay. Let me take over for 1 second here. So you said that you wanted to you told me this, and I quote, I have a desire to put a moratorium on the phrase, it's the first domino to fall during COVID. I don't even know what you mean by that.
It's a sports thing.
Explain that.
But like it's
right.
Ever since COVID started 6 months ago, there's been some like a-hole online. Like whenever anything gets canceled or changed because of COVID, Somebody's always
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, first domino to fall. I feel like COVID is just apex mountain for that kind of guy. You know what I mean? The kind of guy who's like, yeah, I saw this coming. They're loving COVID because it's just a chance to be negative like all the live long day.
Well, hold on. Flesh that out, because that's okay. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Big T, because I haven't heard anybody come at COVID from that angle, that there are, wait for it, people that love it because it gives them a chance to complain about it.
Well, dude, yeah. So, and this is actually a real topic. It only took us 35 minutes to get to one. But
Exactly.
So I think there's a certain, and this isn't revelatory, this isn't like huge breaking news, but I think there's a certain kind of miserable person out there who sort of revels in the idea of something bad happening so that the rest of the world can feel as miserable as they do. And believe it or not, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I don't feel miserable under normal circumstances, nor do I want other people to. But I feel like COVID has been a really uniquely special moment for people who are that way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, and there's just this sort of like, well, I told you we were going to lose baseball, or this NBA thing's not going to work. And one player gets COVID, and they're like, yep, first domino to fall. And I'm just like, well, by definition, it can't be the first domino because we've been doing this for 6 months. You know what
it is, Big T, you get like trite phrases that lose their meaning, just drive you batty.
Dude, they do drive me batty. And especially in the context of this, where I'm already driven batty by it. Like, I'm already on the rim of despair, as you so eloquently said in the intro. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't need that. I don't need that guy saying it's the first domino to fall. So, do you have some COVID despair, Big T? Oh yeah, dude. I mean, not about,
or is it just general despair, but it's because it's COVID, you would have to almost like call it COVID despair?
No. I mean, I always have general despair, right? So like my general despair is always, I don't know, somewhere between a 3 and a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. So yeah, lucky KK gets to deal with that. But
she's such a lucky.
She's a lucky gal, dude. Just fun for her to be able to navigate that. But
good times for both of our ladies. I've always thought that.
Yeah, really. They hit the lottery. They're like, wait, you mean to tell me you're going to be glum all the time and not make a great deal of money? I'm in.
One day there's going to be this personality test called the Enneagram,
right?
And you're going to marry literally the worst possible,
absolutely,
expression of it,
whatever the worst possible like permutation of that thing is. That's what you're going to marry. So no, I mean, I think COVID. I'll say a funny thing and a serious thing. The funny thing is, and it's not really funny, but it's just like there's a wry sort of glumness that sets in when just literally thing after thing after thing, every single thing you've looked forward to just gets like snatched away, right?
It gives you, I know, and that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Right there. You just checked it right there.
Right, dude. And again, all the caveats, whatever, I don't want to get finger wagged on Twitter. Like, I know there are worse things in the world. I know people died from COVID, whatever, right? I get it. But yeah, whatever your things are that you've looked forward to, whether it's going to see a movie in a theater, or eating a meal at a restaurant, or having season baseball tickets, or watching your kid play a senior season of high school football, which we're really hoping is a thing that we can do. Whatever your things are, like when you see them get taken away, it's sort of a kick in the junk. However, and this is the serious thing, I mean, I do think from a spiritual standpoint, it's made me cling to scripture a lot more. Like, I'm reading more. I'm listening to Dwell Bible more. Shout out Dwell Bible. I'm reading more good stuff, and I'm feeling more connected to the material. And as a result, I'm feeling, I think, more connected to the Lord. Yet that doesn't always manifest in happiness. You know what I mean? And I think that's the unique challenge of being a person who's oriented in a little more of a glum direction. Joy is a much more ethereal concept for us, I think. But
It is.
but I will say this, and I don't know if this is for stuff. You can tell me. You're the Enneagram coach. I feel like when I feel joy, I really feel it. Like my highs are really high. My joyful moments are really, really joyful. But my despairing moments tend to be pretty despairing too. And
they tend to be a little polarized on one end or the other. Yeah, I think. No, I think that's spot on.
So yeah,
I mean, I think everybody. Yeah.
Doesn't everybody have COVID glumness? Like, I don't want to know the guy who doesn't have COVID glumness. Like, I actually know a couple of those guys, and they're nearly impossible to talk to right now. For me, like, I just can't. I can't kind of live through that conversation. You know what I mean?
Well, I think I've only known. Okay, I know of one person that has embraced it.
Okay.
To the point where they're very introverted.
Yeah.
And, the fact that they've had to distance themselves from people, like that's a sweet spot for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so instead of feeling like I know I need to be around people, I know it's healthy to engage. I know, I need to be in community and in fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
They've just basically said, hey, as like a deep introvert, like this has been the best season of my life.
Judas.
Because I don't even have to feel guilty about not being around people because I'm instructed not to be. And so for them,
dude, does this person have a family?
Oh yeah.
Because see, like to me, all the kind of warm, nurturing, being alone stuff doesn't kick in when my family's around. Shout out to my family. Right. I do love my family, but like,
sure,
you know what I mean? Like the real tank filling introvert stuff. Like I really truly have to be alone for that to kick in. So yeah, when you're quarantined in a house with your wife and kids, it's not like I don't know, some deeply introverted moment for me.
So that dissipates for you when you're around the fam.
Yeah, dude, because the fam is work. I mean, they're great, and I love them, and they provide a lot of joy. But they're also, I mean, anybody who has a family knows that like having a family is work.
Yeah.
You're not off the clock when they're needing stuff.
You mean it's not just like the easiest thing in the world? I don't really get what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. Dude, there are those people too, though. The people that like make you believe that it's the easiest thing in the world. Maybe I'm just jealous of those people. Probably.
I don't know. It's man. I think that's a fascinating thing to unpack, though.
It is,
because it's like it really like some of these things are incredibly. You go back to our sanctification and our, the ability of the Spirit to change our perspective and to not be so circumstantially driven, right? So we can find I can find more joy in a situation that I'm in today that is that's negative for me than I could have 10 years ago because I've grown some, right? Yeah. But it's been a slow grow. It's a slog. It's still not a great spot. Yeah. But if you were to say, hey, do you think you have like 5% more? Can you get to 5% more joy in a very, for you, negative situation that you would have 10 years ago? I would say, well, absolutely. But like, I'm still low.
It's still negative. Yeah.
And then you look at other people who just, man, they have the kind of personality where like they're able to bounce through situations and scenarios and they just seem like largely unaffected. And the fact is, it's true because you know them. So they're not just happy on the outside, dying on the inside or anything. But you just know, like, man, you process things like so differently than I process things.
Yeah.
And I mean, we only know what we know. We only know what we experience from what we experience personally. But that kind of stuff is fascinating to me because it's like you look at somebody and you're like, I wish I could be that and do that. Yeah. And you're staring yourself in the mirror going, but I can't. I just can't.
Dude, it's fascinating to me too. And okay, so here's an unanswerable question, probably, but I'll bounce it off you. How much of what we have traditionally called quote unquote spiritual maturity in a person, how much of that do you think is just personality? Just dumb luck? You know what I mean? Just you were born with it in the same way that, I was born taller or whatever. You know what I mean? How much of it is just dumb genetic luck and how much of it is actual spiritual maturity?
I think the personality thing, it definitely is a factor.
Yeah.
Because when you're around people that just have a sunny disposition, no matter how gray outside it is, I mean, that is a particular kind of personality.
Yeah.
I also know that those guys, they battle other things that I don't battle.
Dude, like right? What? What do they battle? I'm just
Well, I
curious.
think that so I think people like that, those people have a hard time with empathy
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
times.
yeah.
And
Which I have an
so
easy time with empathy.
right, because you can see somebody who's sad, or they're, in whether it's your kind of sad or not,
Sure.
sad.
Yeah.
And so you can say, hey, I'd love to listen to you. I want to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to relate to them. And I think people like that, they feel a little, they can have a sense of, they can have a tad bit of out of touchness,
Yeah.
because again, they just never, they only see the sunny side of life.
Yeah.
And I think so, if like from a ministry or like a fellowship standpoint, they got to work really hard at kind of looking people in the eye, and taking that smile off their face, and actually listening and going, okay, I need to see if I can understand your pain and try to feel your pain a little bit,
Yeah.
so that I can show some empathy. So that would just be one thing.
Yeah, these are the kind of people that say things like, well, why can't you just decide to be in a good mood?
Exactly.
Well, gee, it's
right.
easy. Yeah.
Because for them it is just in the way that, like, but then, so like for us too, so like for me, I not all kinds of sad or bad. In
Yeah.
fact, I'm drawn to music and to movies
Sure.
where there's a kind of melancholy and sadness in that actually makes me happy, because it's enriching to me.
Yeah.
And it gets me thinking about things that I like to think about.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about nostalgia on the pod in the past.
Yeah.
So like that's all stuff where it's like, hey, not all sad is bad.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's benefits to being like in touch with that side of your personality. And so I don't know, there's pluses and minuses, around.
Yeah.
Across the
Yeah. No, that's good, man. That's good. I think too, like, just to put a finer point on my COVID sadness, it's not just circumstantial, like, oh, I'm losing baseball or whatever. It's the way that it's brought out the worst in people, I think, is comprehensively sad for me. Like, for example, this will be dated by the time we drop the episode, and I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't do politics and I don't believe in it, and I know you don't either. But this guy, Herman Cain, do you remember this guy?
Yeah.
He was like a presidential candidate. He died of COVID.
Yeah.
And everybody's basically like, well, he didn't want to wear a mask, so he deserved it, and screw that guy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Like, you're kidding me. Like, this is what
People are literally monsters, dude. Like, this is a manifestation of a lot of the ugly stuff that we see in scripture about sin just taking over and hardening the heart completely.
Yeah, the hardening of men.
Yes, dude.
100%.
So I look at that, and when I look at it too closely for too long, I get so sad. You know what I mean?
And that would be I think, but that speaks well of, I think, the heart of a Christian, where that kind of stuff should sadden us, because it shows a particular kind of soft-heartedness that we're supposed to be cultivating and developing,
Yeah.
And so, man, we should be sad about people's reactions to things that are out of line with Jesus's reaction to things. Right. So if Jesus is going to be grieved over Herman dying of COVID, like, we should be too, and Jesus would be, and is, know. And so I don't know, that stuff is, like, I don't know, those are like basic tenets of the Christian faith, right there, that you're describing, like Christian character, which is like, hey, we're sad when somebody is hurting, and it doesn't matter the politics, and like, if somebody's hurting, if somebody has died, that we show empathy.
Yeah, there's empathy. There's a certain level of just respectfulness. So
appropriateness.
Maybe that, like, Judeo-Christian ethic was more baked into the culture in a common grace sort of way decades ago, and I don't know how much I should be grieving over the fact that we've lost that. Maybe it's been gone all the time, and I'm just now noticing. That could be it. But
well, I think too. No, but I think you're making a really good point, though. I think in the past, like pre-social media too. I mean, you think about, like, some of the things that we dare utter on social media, we would never dare utter to another person, a human being, because it would sound outrageous.
Yeah.
And it sounds outrageous on social media, but when we announce it and we utter it on social media, we immediately have a pool of people that are going to give us the that kind of, like, that encouragement.
Yeah.
And so it emboldens us in ways that, social media has emboldened us in ways that are against the cause of Christ.
Yeah.
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 And so I think that's what you're describing, which is like, man, in the past, what would let's just say that you did feel that way. Let's just say that you had zero empathy because your first reaction was one of, well, I didn't care for him anyway, and I hated his politics, and he was a monster, or whatever you want to say about him. Like there would be very few people that you would feel comfortable even admitting that.
Oh, totally. Even in the privacy of your own home, I've got to think there would be a little catch in your spirit that would say, I'm not going to say this because I don't want to sound like an a-hole. But
right, even to your wife, say, hey, you understand what I'm saying here, and you would even qualify it like half a dozen times as you were saying it to her, and then she would still say, like, Ted, that's outrageous.
Like, whoa, that's not who you are.
And she would be right. So that's what I mean. It's like, but now we don't have those safeguards,
right?
And because those safeguards don't exist, it's seared our consciences.
Yes, dude.
Too.
I think that's what I worry about the most. Like, I'm not so worried about a virus. I mean, I think, whatever will happen there will happen. And I mean, if I really cared about my body, I wouldn't have played football all those years. I mean, it's you make your peace with, like, doing stuff. But I guess I'm not so worried about COVID as much as I'm worried about what it's revealed about what's in our hearts and the kind of world that, like, my kids and, Lord willing, my grandkids are going to have to live in, I mean, what's it going to look like when they're our age? That freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, we're not going to be around to know, but or I don't know, the medicine's going to be so good we are. I don't know. But
I don't want to be, dude. Yeah. I really don't want to be.
You want to be in glory? I get it.
I do want to be in glory. I don't know.
I get it.
Gosh, I go so glum on these shows, baby.
Apologies to our audience. Let's end it on a glum note. Let's just do it for once.
Yeah, let's do it. We don't have to always be happy on here.
No.
Which is a good thing because I rarely am anymore.
It can be the glummy rant.
This has been nice though. We kind of, what we did? We kind of found our way into some good dialogue about 35 minutes in. So it took
we persevered.
We did. We persevered.
The perseverance of the saint.
That's right. It took a few minutes to get there, but doggone it, we did it. And
lived out the pea and tulip.
And maybe we'll have some positive book news to report here in the coming weeks. I don't know.
You never can tell.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I have put a down payment on the the summer home, but I mean, like, are we even optimistic if we don't do that?
I mean,
I mean, we're trying to get that deal from 6 figures to 7 figures, and Lord willing, that'll happen. I mean,
summer houses, on the horizon.
Baby, this has been fun. We've done what we always do on this program, in that we have wandered to and fro throughout some topics. And until next time.
The Happy Rant is brought to you by Resonate Recordings. If you go to resonaterecordings.com, you can see the full range of services they offer. So if you're considering starting a podcast, they are the ones we recommend going with. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see their prices, to connect with them and ask any questions, and to see what they can do to help you launch, edit, master, and improve your podcast. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see what they can do to help you launch and improve your podcast.